What's up, Taurus? Welcome to your October 2020 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kaylee Jean, and welcome to my channel. I record these readings for artists, entrepreneurs, and anyone who's working on their personal growth or self-expression. So if those areas of life are important for you, if you are a creative person or you're working on your spirituality, those are all of the personal development type things that we cover in these readings. My name is Kaylee Jean. I don't remember if I said that. And welcome here if you're new. Okay, Taurus, while I was tuning in for you, I actually had some interesting messages. So I think this is going to be a big month, particularly leading up to your full moon, which is on Halloween, and it's conjunct Uranus by degree at 8 degrees of your sign. So if you have something at 8 degrees of Taurus, this is going to be big for you. This is going to be huge. I think for many of you, this is going to be something that kind of cracks you open or gives you permission to experience more of life. It gives you, I think, the ability to feel more of the emotions that you want to feel, but the process of cracking that open, I'm almost kind of seeing, for some of you, and I don't want you to freak out about this, but I'm kind of seeing the Tower card because I just feel like there's this kind of a rapid expansion happening. You cannot copy and regenerate the energies of this month. October is a wild card for everyone. And for you, it is going to be significant, okay? It is going to be a powerful time, especially on Halloween. So, if you are wanting to work with this energy more intentionally for yourself, I would say just think throughout the month of October, think about the things that are stirring up your life, whether you have, some chaos being stirred up, if that's an appropriate word for some of you, or if you have just some things that are a bit of a destabilizing influence in your life at this time, or even if just, everything outside of you is kind of going along normally as it should, but internally you feel a strong desire for change or a strong desire to shake things up. Work with this energy in a conservative way. It shouldn't be too hard for you. If you have a lot going on in Taurus, you can be pretty measured about how you do things. But work, I would say, in the beginning of October at changing little things about your day or your routine or your lifestyle. Little things that you want to make a tweak on are actually, it takes more energy than you would think, right, to actually make a change to your habit patterns. Because when you do something consistently, you generate a very strong momentum with it. So making little changes, even if it's like if you normally wear a bracelet on one wrist, switch it to the other in the beginning of the month. Just, that's what I'm saying. It can be a really, really small thing, Taurus, but I want you to experiment with, changing little things in your life with the intention, and this is the key part, with the intention that you are inviting in what you want and that you're making some kind of change in your current existence so that you can, use that symbolically to represent that you are making changes on a bigger level in your life, or that you're welcoming in more of what you want in a specific area of life. You can do that with a really small symbolic little change, right? So just think about that and reflect on that in the beginning of the month, because I feel like that could make some of these powerful energies a little bit more manageable for you because you're participating in the change. Whereas if you just keep doing everything exactly the same for the entire month, come Halloween, you could be like, whoa, like what is going on? Whereas I think if you go into the month thinking, okay, what are the things I would like to do differently in my life? Or what are the habits that I want to change? And what's the new energy that I want to bring in? Maybe come up with a word for it, for example. And then, as you move your watch or your bracelet to the other wrist in the morning, or when you put it on the other wrist, in the morning, you'd think, okay, I'm bringing in more affection and love into my life. I'm going to be a more affectionate version of myself with my family, or, you're going to be more committed and disciplined in your career or with money or something along those lines. Whatever it is, it can be big or small, Taurus. I just want to kind of illustrate this with you because I want you to be a co-creator with this change that's coming into your life. And you can do that in very small ways that seem insignificant, but you know that it's not. You know that little changes that you make in your life can actually echo and reverberate and call in more of the energy that you want, as opposed to just kind of ignoring synchronicity, ignoring symbolism, and just going full speed ahead anyway. You know that that is typically a way of going about things that will lead to some unexpected things where you get shaken up, but it's not necessarily in the way that you are co-creating with it. It's like you ignored it and then it just happens, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Let's go ahead and take a look at your cards and we'll get you some more information. Taurus, clear loving guidance for Taurus. Taurus. Beautiful. I chose to use this deck. It's the Halloween Tarot by Kipling West. And I feel like it's a really great deck for this month because, it's Halloween, obviously, but we also have some pretty serious astrological aspects, like some heavy aspects coming up. And so I want to embrace lightheartedness with even our choices on such a small level, like the decks we would use, right? I want to bring in a way for us to kind of look at things from a Zen perspective, from a lighthearted perspective, and just having fun, because we do have some serious energies, but that doesn't mean we can't also enjoy ourselves. Right, as I'm talking about enjoying ourselves, you have the otter as your path and the fish as the influence. Fascinating. Yeah, this is so funny because the otter is a creature of joy, Taurus. So this is really about you going with the flow of things this month and being playful. It really is. It's about being playful with the energies that are coming into your life and looking for the opportunities in the events of your life to laugh at things and to have fun with them, to not take things so seriously, to let things roll off your back. If something may have irritated you in the past, you might almost this month kind of be like, that's funny. Like, you might think about when you got really irritated or frustrated, and you will almost feel like you don't identify with that part of yourself, anymore. It's like you almost just think it's funny. Something that ordinarily would irritate you, you're just like genuinely kind of laughing at it, which is a really great place to be because it shows that you have reached a new level of self-awareness, right? And the fish, again, is like, go with the flow here. Everything that's happening this month, Taurus, is for your benefit. And it's about just kind of moving with the currents of your life and trusting them. Okay, that's the major message here. Let's take a look at your cards. We've got 7 of Pumpkins and 4 of Ghosts with the Death card, the Sun, Queen of Imps, which is the Queen of Wands, and the Empress, 10 of Imps, and the Chariot. And the 10 of Imps is the 10 of Wands in the normal tarot deck. Okay, I'm just tuning in here. This is such a fun deck. I love it. So it's fascinating because this full moon in Aries that we have on the 1st of October is very much bringing to light certain mundane things in your life, Taurus, that you have had maybe either some conflicting emotions about or that you have been bored with. I would say almost it's like these energies, the 7 of Pumpkins and the 4 of Ghosts, which is the 7 of Pentacles and the 4 of Cups. I feel like there's some tasks and chores and I mean, if you're a business owner, it's like the thing that you do that you have to do that isn't necessarily your excitement, but it's something that's important, like maybe doing your taxes or, setting aside a half an hour to just go through deep in your email box and answer all these emails of people that, you don't necessarily, they're not your clients, they've just like been asking questions, or, it's kind of like this mundane work. And there's something here about, the responsibilities of life that are being highlighted with this Aries full moon on the 1st of October, which is for you in your 12th house. So it's stirring up emotions that you have about the structure of your life, right? And some of those feelings are not going to be inherently super positive or enjoyable, but I think they're being stirred up for a reason, okay? So you're kind of getting clarity about what you think about your life. Basically, it's like you're being kind of harassed into an awareness of, okay, I actually don't really like doing this element of my life. And you're going to be looking for ways that you can kind of change that, or at least maybe change your mindset so you can find it more enjoyable. If there's no way out, if you just have to do it, then, thinking about it in a different way will help. Now, the second week of October, you have the Sun and the Death card, which is pretty radical. What I see here is the cycle of life. I see the Death card being the compost, right? It's the dead plants, which is, again, something that's going on in the Northern Hemisphere here. We have, the shrubs and, trees are losing their leaves. Plants in our garden are starting to die back. And then the Sun kind of shows this promise of, available creativity. It's like a promise of future projects being able to come to fruition. But first we have to go through this, decomposition of what we've done before. So for some of you, if you are, for example, an author, you could be significantly editing a draft of a manuscript. You could be like, oh my gosh, I have to completely restructure this, and it's not even going to be recognizable, which is the Death card, right? It's transformation and letting go of an earlier vision. But in that process, you're actually moving towards a more centered and holistic and powerful expression of you, who you are as a writer, right? So it's a process of letting go and a process of synthesis that you have to go through. There's no way around it, Taurus. There's no way around it. And so there is some kind of transformation that you're going through in your life or your business that represents a dramatic letting go of the past so that you can move forward towards the newest, fullest expression of yourself. So that's what we're seeing there. That's a big energy. Like the second week of October looks like the most intense week, I have to say, which is surprising given, that you do have this really powerful full moon at the end of the month. But I'm really going to put my money on the second week of October being the most kind of profoundly changing, for you. Whereas the other 3 weeks I see movement and awareness and, things that you're kind of solutions you're coming to, but that second week feels very impactful, okay? The third week you have the Queen of Imps, which is the Queen of Wands, and the Empress. So some kind of mother energy coming in. It could be your physical mother, Taurus, or maybe relating to a woman who is very creative and who has some sort of a creative relationship with you, or some sort of a advising relationship with you. This could be somebody who gives you ideas or bounces ideas around with you, because it's the Queen of Wands. She's a very dynamic person. But the Empress is also nurturance. So this could be you, Taurus. You could be nurturing something, like maybe a pet. You could be rescuing an animal or adopting an animal or working with kids in some way. But it's like very nurturing energy, right? And if that's not representing you, it could be someone in your life who is nurturing you. but there's a very strong energy of like someone feminine in your life who is guiding or instructing you, or you are in that role for someone else. And I think that this is actually a really positive thing. I get a really good energy from this. I get a feeling of security, especially it's almost like somebody kind of lends a hand when you need it in that third week of October. And it just feels like securing you. It feels like you are becoming more secure in yourself, because maybe this relationship is sort of that you have with this person is highlighting your resources that you have, or maybe even just who you are as a person is kind of being strengthened. So it's really nice. The 10 of Imps, which is the 10 of Wands and the Chariot, this is funny because right around that full moon in your sign, which is again conjunct Uranus at 8 degrees of Taurus, you're going to be really wanting to move full speed ahead during that full moon. And I would encourage you guys to be safe, particularly if you will be traveling or driving around on that day. Seeing the Chariot here with the 10 of Imps shows me that some of you, and again, this is like maybe a very specific message for someone, but I want to say, like, don't be too distracted when you're driving. Don't be thinking about a lot of things if you are driving or traveling. Just be aware of your environment and your surroundings, because the 10 of Imps shows this guy holding too many imps. And here we see someone, behind the wheel of a car, and there's like one eye shut and one eye open. So I want to just say, be mindful of your surroundings, not even just if you're driving, but just in general. I feel like this is a cautionary message because there is this Uranian energy for everyone to that full moon, but particularly for you, if it's conjunct something that you have in Taurus, there could be a sense of like unexpected events that are possible. So you want to really minimize your the potential that exists for you to be kind of struck by something unusual, or to be in a situation where you're not really paying attention. You've got one eye open, one eye closed, and this is something that you want to avoid as far as like Uranian influence. And I talk about this kind of stuff on my channel as well in my videos about eclipses. I'm not one of those metaphysical practitioners who looks at eclipses and thinks like, oh, I really want to take advantage of that energy, because eclipses to me are sort of, they have a kinship with the Uranian energy, where there can be really powerful advancements that are made. We could be, it's kind of like gambling, right? Like you can win big or you can lose it all. And sometimes that's not really the energy that I want to work with in my life. I would definitely personally rather do my commitments and take care of my obligations gradually over time in a responsible way, continue to better myself on a daily basis, and achieve my goals with a sense of groundedness and a sense of not kind of throwing all my chips in on a bet, right? I'm not trying to gamble really with my life personally. And so that's kind of something that I'm seeing with these cards, is like the Chariot is there showing that you're going to have a strong desire to move forward, and you're going to have a sense of like, oh, this is what I want, or this is where I'm going in my life, or maybe even literally. But be careful of a tendency to overlook important factors around this full moon on Halloween, okay? Be aware that you may have a tendency to rush into something that may require more of a fine-tooth comb, more attention than you're going to be inclined to give it around Halloween, okay? Because that's your full moon, so it's going to be impactful for you, and you want to just be a little bit cautious and careful. But at the same time, I think the Chariot does represent forward motion for you in your life, and I think that you are going in a worthwhile direction. It's just a matter of being aware of your state as you move in that direction, being aware of what you're doing with your attention and your thoughts and your desires, and how you're kind of reacting and responding to life. Let's take a look at your Bob Ross message, because we're creatives, we need messages from a wonderful artist. He says, you can do anything you want to do. This is your world. Really lovely message of empowerment. It makes a lot of sense with the Chariot and the Otter. And so, as long as you're just being relatively cautious and you are staying present and aware, Taurus, I think this is a month where you do need that message of, that you can do whatever you want to do, right? Your reality is your reality, and I think that you're going to have some liberation coming up with this Uranus influence on your full moon. So enjoy that, okay? I hope this reading is beneficial to you, Taurus. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you tons of love and light. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. As well, feel free also to leave me some kind of Halloween emoji or Halloween message if you enjoyed this reading. Comments really help support my channel's growth in the algorithms. So if you want to say thank you, but you don't have the ability to donate, that is a wonderful way to do it, is just to leave a comment and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for being here, Taurus. Sending you tons of love, and I will talk to you next time.